Hello, and welcome to the Side Escape Gaming Podcast. I'm your host, Jake Burke, and joined, as always, by James St. Charles. James, how is quarantine treating you?
It's a gamer's paradise. That's all I can say.
It's a gamer's paradise. I have played a disgusting amount of video games the last 2 days.
I think they came up with a study in that people are 75% of their time is spent on video games.
Oh, really?
Like gamers are spending 75% of their time playing video games.
I can imagine
in quarantine.
Yeah. We've been playing Warzone. We've been playing Halo. I've been playing Animal Crossing and Doom, which I'll talk about in future weeks.
Yep.
And wow. But I'm glad you're surviving. And we're both growing out a little facial hair for the quarantine for those.
Yeah, we're gonna see how far we can go.
Yeah, I really want that.
It's gonna get really itchy though. I can feel it coming on.
Yeah, it's starting
That's
to
the
itch
worst
like
part.
under here.
When it itches, it's like I shaved like a little bit.
I know. And I just found out my razor's broken. I only have one blade instead of two, so I'm like, shit, I really can't shave this down.
And you can't go out.
I can't go out. No, I'm sure I could go to Target. But enough about quarantine, because this is the 16th episode of the Side Escape Gaming Podcast, where every Monday morning a new episode goes live on YouTube, SoundCloud, and Spotify. Once a week, we sit down and Skype across 500 miles to talk about the latest video game news, like a main topic this week, which is our review of Ori and The Will of the Wisps. And at the end, we're talking about the news as well, which I have in my doc. And at the end of every episode, we slowly build the Side Escape top 20 best games of all time. It's my turn to choose a game this week, and boy, do I got a doozy for you. But before we do any of that, we always start with what have you been playing? James, give me a brief update on what you've been playing.
Similar games, Warzone, Doom, Ori. We'll talk about that.
Talk about Ori. I want to talk to you about Warzone a little bit, because I feel like we gave our first initial impressions after 4 or 5 games last week. We've now played a hell of a lot more. And we won a game.
Yeah.
No big deal.
You said something before that. You said that you would retire from Warzone once you won a game. And we won a game yesterday. So are you going to retire?
Oh, I might retire. No, I had a pretty good time.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
I would say this, though. Ever since playing Doom, I feel like I got way better at shooters. Because Doom is so hard and fast and how you controls Doom Eternal. That playing Call of Duty or Halo is this is slow. I got this. I can.
We were playing Halo today. I was on my game. I was aware. I just felt on it.
So how do you feel about Warzone playing now? I guess let's say 24 games we've played or more.
Warzone is interesting, but it makes you the way the map is built. We talked about this. It's big. It's a big map.
Yeah.
Tall buildings, and that's the name of the game. It's a weird BR in the sense that you're always looking on top of buildings for people.
Well, yeah. So it's very much a battle royale based on verticality. I've noticed. When we won yesterday, it was because I was up on the top of a roof.
Mm-hmm.
I would not have won a ground fight, but I just had the angle and that was perfect. Where I think and there's so many tall buildings in this battle royale that it's the game is based on snipers and verticality.
It's also based on stages. It's very similar to a MOBA where there's an early game, there's a mid game, and a late game. Mm-hmm. And your goal is to get to late game as fast as possible and then control the circles, which we got very good at the very end when we won.
Yeah, we're
we just were playing the circles. We got our loadouts. Boom. Don't even worry about looting anymore. That's a trap.
Yep.
Focus on the stores, and there's a real strategy there, and it's fun.
It is really fun.
It's really great. We always have just different styles of where we're going, and then you have to play around who's spotting people, and we got really good communication, and it's a beautiful game. It's a beautiful team game.
And I think the introduction of the Gulag, as much as I think fighting in the Gulag is super janky and half the time I'm how did I just die from this guy? Whatever. And I'm not that great in the Gulag to begin with, which is the prison that if you die, you get sent to the prison. And if you kill somebody in the prison, you get your chance to go out. I think the incorporation of that, so when you're dead, it's not just on your teammates. You have kind of still some ownership in the game. Adds another level of it. Because I've always hated when we used to play PUBG, where I'd go down, I'm dead, I was never very good, and then it's I'm gonna hang out here for 30 minutes while my team is mulling around.
Yeah, at least you have, and then you have the option to be bought back too. Yeah. Even if you lose, there's still option. You can be bought back as many times as you want, as long as you have the money. Right. Which the economy system is really great, how you're managing your money, how you're managing builds, buying. You could buy a loadout, you could buy UAVs. There's really great things that is a step above other BRs. It's definitely a step above PUBG. Apex, it's a give or take there. Apex
very
is
different.
It's a different, yeah. But with Fortnite, I feel more people are playing Blackout, but we'll see. I gotta check the numbers because now everyone's quarantine. There are probably people playing more Fortnite. So
yeah,
I'm interested in the numbers there, but very successful and beta. It's beta. And
I just saw they
free.
crossed like 10 million players already. Warzone, which is like insane.
Well, it's a pretty much a finished BR. Like I haven't experienced really that many bugs. There's like little weird bugs here and there, but not many.
I haven't experienced any bugs really. I've just experienced like there is a little jank to all battle royales, and like it's got its fair share of like jank sometimes, and like some of the buildings are super hollow, and it's like this building's just so you can get up top of the building. Like there's no rooms in this like huge building.
There's also some sound jank. They could really like redo the sound to like make sure like shots that sound like they're right there aren't actually like 300 meters away or 400
That's my
meters
biggest
away.
complaint is you constantly hear gunfire and nobody will be around you.
Yeah.
Like you
That's
can't
why
really rely on
I'm wondering how they're doing the sound there. If there's like a threshold where they're like, oh, anything in this 1,000 meter area,
you just hear.
You'll hear it.
Yeah.
It's like, I guess. But if you're in like a crowded, like down, like I don't know, like I feel like some areas like sound can be absorbed through buildings, so it's needs some work there. But other than that, it's pretty clean.
And it's free. You can't complain about a free game. Our buddy Ted asked if it was worth playing today, and it was like, yeah, because it's free. Like, it's a huge download and a pain in the ass to download, but then it's free, so why not?
Yeah. And we were discussing fours, like if fours are possible for it, and we agreed no. Like fours
I think
do not really work.
Which fits perfectly.
Yep.
Yeah.
Fours too much.
Yeah. And there's crossplay, which we've been doing with one of our friends on PC, so it's been us on PlayStation. And
it's seamless.
Yeah.
We can all party. That's the first. I don't think I've ever. Is there a game where you can all be crossplay and play together? I know there's like, it's crossplay and play together.
Yeah.
Okay, you're right. Yeah, Fortnite is.
Yeah, Fortnite, and then there's like Rocket League is. I don't think Apex is. No. Rocket League, Fortnite, a few other games like that, but it's the first one that I've like had no problems with.
Gotcha.
And I also think it's one of the first ones where like I haven't noticed a big curve with like PC, where like Fortnite, like PC's just better. Yeah, and like I haven't noticed that with this game. Like
it's balanced.
Yeah, I felt pretty balanced.
They even like in Fortnite they try to like hype like up the auto aim to balance out the PC but there is like a strong PC greater than this game. However, it's really balanced. PC is probably only better for snipers. Any other rifle, any other gun controller can match it and probably is better. Yeah. So it's debatable there, but we were owning, and we were probably playing with a bunch of PC players.
Yeah, so I'm sure it was fun too. Yeah, it was really fun. I had no complaints with it. Then I've been playing Animal Crossing. I want to talk a little bit about because we'll talk about Doom next week. Our Doom Eternal review will be our next week's episode, and then I think the week after I'm going to do a review of Animal Crossing. That'll give me like 3 weeks to play it. I've never.
There's a lot. It's a grind, right? There's like a lot to grind.
It is a grind, but
you better have a mansion by the time.
I think I will. What a perfect game. I've only played one Animal Crossing on the DS, and that was, I guess, like 9 years ago is when it came out.
So you had the worst possible experience. You didn't play the original, the GameCube.
Yeah, I never played GameCube.
Oh.
But what a perfect game to be stuck in my house and not being able to do anything, to get this game and be able to do a bunch of shit.
What a perfect time for it to be released.
God, could they have planned it better? They're stoked. Yeah. Nintendo is so excited about it.
I know, like it's literally, it's hype. Like this is the hype right now to play this
and
game.
Everyone that owns a Switch I know is basically playing it. Like this is the, we'll get to it later. This is the best Switch launch game, or launch of a Switch game in the UK ever. Wow. Over Breath of the Wild, Smash Bros, Mario Odyssey, which is insane. But Animal Crossing is like, living on this island life, but the island, I guess, from other iterations is much more customizable because you aren't moving into a town, it is moving with you. And so like you're really building up every aspect of it and like putting the shop where you want it to go, and then you'll be able to move it around later. I
like that.
The resource management's always a big thing in Animal Crossing in these kind of games like Stardew Valley. It's a little annoying because some resources you can't get just till tomorrow because stuff like has to respawn. So it's like trying to complete the shop because I have to like get it all the resources before it is built tomorrow. Like it takes a day to build, and I wasn't able to do it like that one night. So then like I had to wait another day, and it was like, this sucks. I'm trying not to save scum it, but I had to save scum twice now because I've like, it's like, 2 hours in, I'm like, well, I just need like 2 more pieces of iron. And so like, I got to go to the next day to like get the store ready. Yeah. But I'm having a blast with it. I'm very excited to review it in a little bit when it's all said and done, or like when I got a good grasp on it. From what I've done the first few days, it's great, wildly exceeds my expectations, and I'm very curious to see how much more I play of it throughout the year and what that means for game of the year and all that jazz.
I know you're talking highly of it, so Definitely can't wait for the full review.
I'm in. I'm like addicted. You know, I'm in. Give me that shot at Animal Crossing right now. I'm fucking in. I mean, it's right here, James.
Yeah. Oh,
there's my prop. It's right there. On my Switch. All right. So that's what we've been playing. Have you been playing anything else?
No, I think that's basically it. I'm trying to think if I touched on anything
while you're at home,
I haven't already played.
You plan on going to some other like games, like some of your favorite?
Potentially, I heard people were revisiting Last of Us during this time, which is kind of interesting. It's like a perfect time to play it. It's a little too recent to me. I'm probably gonna touch upon like maybe the I'm here for 3 weeks basically. Yep. Like my work told me like don't come back till April 8th, I think. So I'm definitely gonna run through all the latest games coming out. Yeah. That being said, Half-Life Alyx comes out tomorrow. We'll see how long that is. It's a $60 game, so we'll hopefully there's content.
Half-Life Alyx comes out tomorrow.
Yeah.
You mean tomorrow I get to say I told you so that when they announce Half-Life 3?
There's no way they announce it right away. But I got surprise news that I'll talk about at the very end.
Surprise news. That's a first. Yeah. All right, let's talk about the news since we're... All right. Sony reportedly pulls Mario content from Dreams after Nintendo complaint. By Joseph Knoop at IGN, which Knoop is a great name. Knoop. I bet he goes by his last name too. Sony is reportedly pulling a Super Mario creation from Nintendo issued according to a report from Go Nintendo Euro Game. Dreams player Piece of Craft that's a good name, took to Twitter to talk about the creation getting pulled from the game, allegedly using their Super Mario model, which is available for other players to use in their own Dreams creation that was taken down. Piece of Craft also stated that they received an email from Sony Interactive Entertainment Europe that said Nintendo had issued a complaint about their intellectual property being used in a Sony game. Piece of Craft's Mario model can be seen being used in other creations. It is unclear if those creations have been impacted by Sony's decision to remove it. Piece of Craft followed up again by saying that they can no longer edit the Mario creation, as it has been marked as removed due to the copyright material. I can remix it, but the original I can no longer edit, and the others will not find or be able to use it. Not too sure what will happen to the levels that use Mario. I guess we will have to wait and see. It's kind of like a slap on the wrist. Business attorney Richard Hoge of Hoge Law and Virtual Legality notes that this isn't entirely unexpected development, giving Media Molecules passed with Little Big Planet. But the terms of service agreement appears to cover Sony on legal issues like this. Anyone that has played Dreams is well aware of the amount of content that is inspired by some of the most beloved games of all time, Hoge told IGN. And anyone that played its predecessor, Little Big Planet, knew that the folks would be making all sorts of things owned by others. So what you see on the game is essentially people making what they love, and most content creators looking the other way. This isn't that unusual a state of affair as much of the fan games streaming scene can be argued to live on the same basis of an IP holder. I don't know this word.
I actually don't know this word either.
Largesse.
This is a big boy word.
Largesse.
Some French word.
Yeah.
Some French
word. Legal term. That's an insane word. So basically that's kind of sums it up. There's a lot more to the article, but Nintendo cracking down on Dreams.
We talked about this. We very much predicted this was going to happen, and I think no one's
surprised.
Was expecting otherwise. Yeah, no one's surprised, and especially Nintendo going at it first. They go after everything.
Yeah.
Any type of when people are doing like ROM hacks or any of those, like literally trying to blatantly copy their stuff.
Well, they go after Pokemon like Acid or whatever it was called, or
there was like a Pokemon MMO, right?
Yeah, and they pulled it. Nintendo pulled it, and
oh yeah, they go after you hard, so you don't mess with Nintendo. And this is going to be interesting for Dreams, for Media Molecule, for creators. However, I think that this will probably be a step in the right direction. This is what's needed. It's going to cleanse the recycled IP from others.
We were talking about this a few weeks ago.
Some of the new, some of the original ideas that are going to come out and come to fruition from this. So, again, how they're going to do that? Well, now they have a legal.
They do have
a legal fire burning under them to get on it. So we'll see.
Yeah, I'm curious, kind of what follows and who also starts pulling content. Because there's tons of Star Wars content on there, obviously, and stuff like that. But then there's also like this Avatar: The Last Airbender game that's being built right now. which is looks like it's going to be amazing in Dreams, and it's like, don't pull that. Like, let these people finish what they want.
I think if you make it like parody enough, they can do it, and as long as they're not making any money, I think it might be okay. So to navigate that law, like to make it parody enough, is going to be really hard, but it's going to be interesting to see.
It sounds like Nintendo too is not so much going after them because it's been used in Dreams, but the fact that it's on a Sony console and it's their exclusive game. Like, it's their character on Sony, I think, is the bigger issue. Like, I don't see Nickelodeon being like, the fact that Aang's on the PlayStation's a big deal. Like, they don't care, you know? What, you didn't expect that voice?
Yeah, that's the Nickelodeon voice.
Yeah, the Nickelodeon voice. He's a business guy. Hey, SpongeBob. Sorry. I did play, Maddie was down last weekend, and you were too, as well. And I showed her.
I'm in the room next door. Remember?
You were in the room next door. But I was showing her some Dreams creations. And we were doing a SpongeBob one, walking around Bikini Body, and she's a big SpongeBob fan. And it was like, she's like, oh, that's this. Oh my God, that's so cool that's this. And like,
are you not a big SpongeBob fan?
I cannot stand SpongeBob.
Oh my God.
I think SpongeBob is overrated as hell.
I think new SpongeBob sucks, but old SpongeBob is a special place.
Yeah, in the garbage. That's the place that it deserves.
What did you grow up with?
Fairly Odd Parents and Jimmy Neutron.
Okay, those are both good. I watched all of that.
Yeah, I just didn't like SpongeBob. I don't know. He was creepy to me. All right, SpongeBob's creepy to me.
He is creepy.
Though I do appreciate...
But the show had some good humor.
I appreciate that Patrick is his friend who's a starfish who just lives under a rock. I think that's hilarious. All right, I want to go to the next news story. Animal Crossing New Horizons smashes sales record in the UK. By Christopher Dringe at gamesindustry.biz. Animal Crossing New Horizons has become a major hit in the UK. Nintendo's critically acclaimed sequel has sold more copies in its first week on sale than the launch sales of all other previous Animal Crossing games combined, including its spin-offs. The launch is 3 times bigger than that of the last games in the series, 2013's Animal Crossing New Leaf on 3DS, which was the biggest previous launch of the series. It is also the biggest single game launch on the Nintendo Switch since the console came out. Although if you combine the sales of Pokemon Sword and Shield together, those games enjoyed a bigger week. That makes sense. Those two games. A lot of people buy both of them too. This only factors in physical sales. So I think this is very interesting.
Wow, only physical?
It does not include digital numbers, which may be higher than usual considering the concerns around COVID-19 virus that has seen the UK government recommend that citizens stay indoors. Nintendo does not share digital downloads data externally.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
It's probably way bigger. But Nintendo's probably going to release a number. I guarantee you.
I guarantee you they will.
But my sister, she skewed the numbers because she ordered an Amazon copy and it wasn't going to arrive in time. And she was at GameStop on Thursday and bought it there because she was like, damn, I'm at GameStop and it's really packed. I'm like, yeah. They're selling the games
got it
early.
on Thursday, yeah.
She got it on Thursday and returned her copy when it came in on Friday.
That's awesome. So, yeah, we know some other people that did, like, basically they ordered on Best Buy, and Best Buy was like, we're not getting it to you for like a week, and they said they bought it on the Nintendo store. Yeah. That's great, but that's just in the UK too. That's not in the States at all. That's just UK is 3.5 million.
I can't imagine the total sales, and it's also big in Japan. Like this is a big Japan game. So this is probably single handedly going to be the biggest release probably of this year of any game. I think that's how it's going to be.
Cyberpunk, I think, will be.
We'll see.
Yeah, Cyberpunk's just on everything.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
But I think this is interesting too. The fact that, as we were talking about offline, but of just the duality of the games that came out on 20th, which was Doom Eternal, which is like the biggest fucking fuck yeah shooting game ever. Goriest, just like
demonic, hell raising.
The music's like and then you have like Animal Crossing. It's like do 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 do. And you're like, you got like a net and you're catching a butterfly, and it's like both of them are perfect. Like I needed both of them for this weekend.
Doom, you're just like ripping heads off and slicing people.
Well, I found myself bouncing back between both of them, where I'm like, oh my god, I gotta kill something right now, and I'm like hopping into Doom, and then it's like, that was intense. Let's go catch some butterflies. Let's go
Doom
fishing.
Is like, I have to play it in bursts. It's just like,
I get exhausted while playing Doom. I can't wait to talk to you about it. Oh, that's a good game. That's a good game.
That's gonna be a huge review when we do that.
God, can't wait. But there are bigger things than the games being released this week, James. That's a transition. Let's talk about those PlayStation 5 specs. Here are the PS5 specs by Mike Faney at Kotaku. it might only have 10.28 teraflops to the Xbox Series X 12. PlayStation 5 is pretty. Check out the latest hardware powering Sony's next-gen console, including its custom AMD Zen 2 CPU and its super fast SSD. So I printed out the specs. We don't have to go through all of them. Mm-hmm. But we watched the Mark Cerny press conference. That was incredibly awkward. Very boring.
Well, what sucked is people didn't realize that this was just a GDC conference.
Yep. They marketed it
and
wrong.
they thought it was like, oh man, they're gonna be flashy and it's gonna be like a big E3 thing. And no, it was very much geared towards developers.
And I think it's on Sony. Sony sent out a thing saying, "Come to the PlayStation blog and see the next generation of PlayStation." And they should have been like, Mark Cerny's gonna lead a technical discussion on the hardware of the PlayStation 5. That's a better way to market it.
Here's my thought on it. If they said that, people wouldn't show up. So I think they did want people's eyes on it.
Mad at it? Like everyone's like excited about the Xbox Series X.
Little mad.
Xbox Series X is like they're doing it right. Okay, let's see what they got. Their marketing's clear. Where Sony's is like murky. Like even the way they talked about crossplay in this PlayStation 5, where they're like 100 of the best PS4 games, most of them will be on PS5, and it's like, what are you talking about? Like,
yeah, that was interesting when they were like talking about like manually testing out the games. They just did the top 100.
It's like you can't just make them all work on PS5. Like,
yeah,
I can put in an Xbox game, a original Xbox game, and it works on the Xbox One.
Yeah, that's a thing that they definitely are not geared towards legacy, and that this is probably just transitional for the games that are finishing up on PS4.
Yeah, it's just weird
going into PS5, and that's why they probably had to do it. And it sounds like, they're gonna just give it their best, but it sounds like they're not gonna do the whole catalog. It's just like, we're gonna do the top 100 most played games. That's it.
So I'm wondering what that means about like my digital games too. Like everything that's in my PlayStation 4 library, is that gonna carry over, or am I gonna have to have my PS4 plugged in to play Rogue Legacy or something?
Yeah, it should be account tied, which
right.
Yeah, we'll see.
We'll see.
We both have accounts, so we'll see.
So,
but go ahead. Yeah,
I wanted to talk about the main things that were talked about at the PS5 kind of conference. Obviously, he went through all the specs, but he really focused. Mark Cerny, who's the lead designer of the PlayStation 5, probably one of the smartest guys in video games. That guy is like, it's like listening to a genius who I have no idea what he's talking about. Multiple times.
Yeah, he is the PlayStation console. Like, that guy is genius.
And so they really focused on the SSD drive and kind of what that's going to allow not only gamers but the game developers to utilize, and the loading times and how the world loads in front of people. Weird that they referenced like Jack 2, and
that was a cool,
it was cool,
thing.
But like a weird poll. Like, okay,
yeah.
And then they talked about Dead Space.
New Jack.
Like, yeah, God, we don't need that. Jack was good for a time. Let's not make Naughty Dog go back to it. Yeah. But they also focus a lot on audio, and like the whole like last 15-20 minutes of that presentation were about how they realized the PS4's audio is kind of ass, and that they want to get back to the PS3's like 3D audio and like incorporation of everything. So what was your kind of...
I love that.
Yeah.
Like, and he went into incredible detail on digital signal processing, on audio interference, and he was like, they're showing all the graphs, and they were showing stuff that absolutely probably 90% of the audience don't know about. But they were showing like fast Fourier transforms and stuff, like how to actually process, and then how they were talking about like how powerful it is. So they're doing a big dedication to audio. And then they were like talking about like the customization with like the way they were testing with people's profiles, and there's like a default profile, but you can have a custom one tuned to your your response. That's right there is amazing if they get that like solidified.
Well, then he asked for pictures of people's ears.
Yeah.
Can you take a picture of your ears so we can see like how the sound goes? Like
that's a cool thing. Like,
that's weird.
Yeah, if you're an audio engineer, like that stuff that they're doing for PlayStation is awesome. Yeah. And I think we talked about audio recently, and it's in games, it's still not tightened down.
No. Like
audio is very much still like it could be better. And I'm very curious to see how this is going to play with PS5 games. Like it could be so immersive. It could be amazing. But yeah, you're right. They just touched on SSD and audio.
Those are like the big things. And they talked about other stuff in there, but
that's the two main things.
But so the SSD, obviously, we know faster loading times. But what else did you take away from that conference? Made the PS5 stand out.
Well, I liked that they were dedicated to like you being able to expand the memory, like with NVMe, but then they like warned you don't do it right away because they want to make sure like everything works. Right. But I currently got a 2 terabyte NVMe M2 SSD, which probably works for the PS5. And if you can have that capability, that's great. They're already thinking ahead. And Xbox does not do that. It's
Xbox is proprietary. They have their own card that may be better, but it's theirs, and you gotta buy it just for that.
Yeah, well, I don't want to pay for theirs when I could buy my own
and use it for multiple things, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So that was great already. And then we're seeing this shift. I think we're in a new era where we're gonna like hard disk drives are gonna like go to the back front, and games may only start running on SSD, which would be very interesting. Because I feel like games right now you can load them up on a hard drive, you can load up on SSD.
Right.
If you load them up on the hard drive, you're gonna have slower loading times. If you load up on the SSD, it's like instant. So they both work, but one works better, and you could already tell PlayStation is tuning to the SSD, which no loading screens, like that's gonna be beautiful.
Yeah, that's like their big thing. I mean, they didn't show it in this demo, but they've showed in the past like Spider-Man 4 or Spider-Man running on a PlayStation 4, and then Marvel Spider-Man running on the PS5, and like the loading times are like it starts loading, and it's already done on the PS5, and then it's like loading for another like 15-20 seconds on PS4.
Yeah,
and you're
I think Xbox did one recently. When they showed
it's
theirs.
basically the same thing. Yeah. I mean, I think these consoles are going to be very similar like what they're actually doing, but Xbox is going to have the most powerful and the most like this hardware is the best. For Sony, which I think they've shown in this console as well, they're like our console is the best utilized.
But to the consumer, does it really matter?
No.
Like they're caring about the games.
Yep.
They're not really caring about, this has got 12 teraflops instead of the 10.28 that the PlayStation has.
Well, right now they do because that's all we know about them.
I mean,
everybody cares about these goddamn buzzwords. I don't even know what a teraflop is, and you explain it to me.
The exclusives on Xbox come out to PC, so I was like, if you have a PC, why am I getting an Xbox? What's the gimmick there when I could just get a PS5, which I know is only having exclusives for like maybe a year, because they are starting to transition to PC, but yeah, maybe not all.
Horizon Zero Dawn after 3 years is coming. That's all we know.
Yeah. Wait, Death Stranding right away?
Death Stranding's not owned by PlayStation.
But it's funded by PlayStation.
They're not publishing it on PC, though. The PC publishing rights are like 505 games.
Oh, they're not.
Yeah, Sony's not.
How did Death Stranding? But they paid for Death Stranding. Like Sony Interactive Entertainment.
They published it. They didn't develop it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So they helped like Kojima publish it and make it, and I'm sure like they gave him a fuckload of money to have it launch on PlayStation.
But they were still like
they don't own the IP or anything.
Gotcha.
Yeah. It's not technically the same as Horizon.
That makes sense.
Yeah. We're like Horizon is owned by Sony. So we don't know a lot about these consoles. We just know the specs. We don't know the games. We don't know the dates. When do we hear something more? Is it E3?
That week probably is going to be like, we're going to probably have like a week in time from now on. That is just like, here's all the game releases, here are all the info releases, because E3 is not happening, but I guarantee everyone was talking about, we're going to have our own little thing.
And I'm sure Sony's around there.
They have to be, because they literally aren't going anywhere. And they haven't shown anything. Yeah, they just showed their GDC thing, and it's like, okay, we can't show it off.
Yep. Which is, it is weird they didn't even show the console.
Xbox guaranteed November release date though, right?
Yeah, I think they guaranteed like Thanksgiving or something. Yeah. Soon. We'll see. I could see Sony coming out in October.
Oh.
I think it'll come out before the Xbox.
It'll be big.
I know. I'm just thinking. I'm just spitballing. All right, James, what's your surprise news topic that you're going to throw at me?
Okay. So yesterday we talked about a topic that was pretty interesting. We talked about VR.
Oh.
And we talked about the PlayStation VR sales versus all the other PC like headset sales.
Oh,
I got the numbers here.
All right, so
I did the research.
Is this devices sold?
Sadly, the devices sold metrics aren't updated. So I got the unit shipments, which is close to it, but it's not going to be sold. So we'll see it. Units shipped does not correlate with devices sold.
For virtual reality headsets.
Yeah, but you can, the 2017-2018 numbers will probably equal sold. So
yeah, it's fine.
2019, their numbers were updated in February 2020, but they're still, like they said, they projected out for some numbers. So we'll see. The first thing is, I think we may have talked about this article in January, which was 5 million PlayStation VR units sold.
We did talk about that.
That was when, so that was when they hit the 5 million threshold mark. And then this statistical research website projected out to 2.2 million sold in 2019. So that brought up to like 5.2 million.
Okay.
So interesting. However, I got the final numbers. Like I did all of it from 2017 onwards.
Wow. Did you add this all up together?
Yeah, they had a nice chart with all the data.
All right, okay, cool.
So in total, PlayStation VR versus everything, it beats all the other consoles most years by itself. So it beats every single other individual.
Yeah.
But combined, they actually slightly beat PlayStation VR.
Oh, so all the other headsets for PC combined?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm talking HTC, Oculus, the Windows Mixed Reality.
Vive.
Those are basically the only three. HTC is Vive, but those are the three big ones.
What's the index?
Windows, that's Valve's.
Okay.
So HTC was Valve as well.
That's what I thought.
But then they split off. Valve just say, hey, we're just going to make our own. And then HTC's making their own. So the Valve is new. So that adds another party.
Mm-hmm.
But then there's a big Windows Mixed Reality one, which is like HP, Samsung, all these other, Lenovo. They all just got in and started doing their headsets. So I got all those numbers.
Okay.
So 2017 combined for those other headsets were 2 million. And PlayStation VR was 1.7 million. So slightly beat out the numbers there. Yep. 2018, PlayStation goes to 2 million. And then the other ones go to 2.65 million. And in 2019, it was the biggest jump ever for all headsets.
In 2019.
2.2 million. So keep going up. 2.2 million for PlayStation VR. And then 3.8 million for all the other ones, with Oculus having a huge jump. They basically like almost jumped a million.
Oh shit.
In units. Like, so Oculus killing it.
So you're versing PlayStation VR numbers to all of the other ones combined.
Which is what I said yesterday. Yeah. I was like, all the other like headsets combined.
I see what you're saying. Okay.
Yeah,
I think we were arguing different points. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not talking about one company. I'm talking about all the ones that utilize PC for. So, in conclusion, though, 8.45 million units. These are units like shipped for all the other ones PC combined versus 5.9, which they projected out. They went to 5.9 shipped, which is probably higher. They were like talking about it. We don't have the current number, 2020 numbers, but that market is huge if they combine it. So I basically did some research, and there is probably going to be Half-Life Alyx for PlayStation.
Yep.
Probably in a year though.
I think so.
This trend, it's huge, and with the recent sales, they had 300,000 pre-orders already for Half-Life Alyx. 2020 is going to be huge for VR. So, and the headsets are cheaper, like $250 for a Windows Mixed Reality. So,
well, and PlayStation VR is like dropping too. I think it's like
that one. It was I have the numbers.
250, 200 now. It used to be 300 for 300. Just that. Okay, but that's with like the camera and the wands and jazz.
Yeah, so it was 300. I don't think I printed it out, but it is down.
To like it's like 250, 200.
Because it came out in 2017, but the problem is it's still that 2017 tech, and then everyone else is coming out with like 2020 tech, so it's dated. We'll see if they have an update for PlayStation 5. But,
I think PlayStation VR is the ease of use VR headset.
Correct. Yeah. You have your PSVR, so it's 300, then plus your $300 PlayStation.
Yeah.
And that's cheaper than basically most of the higher end VRs, which are like $700 to $1,000.
Mm-hmm.
The cheaper ones are $250, but you need like a $600 PC.
And that's why.
Again, price point wise, it's still better.
Yeah.
Although I think it's either Oculus or HTC where they have like an all-in-one. I think it's Oculus, right?
Okay.
Where you don't even need a PC. There's like they made a headset where it's all-in-one.
It's the Oculus Quest.
That's
where it's on its own, which I want to get.
Those are probably still going to be coming out pretty soon for HTC, and I don't think for Valve, but for HTC they're going to come out with the all-in-one. Which I don't have the numbers like if they're better than PlayStation VR, but
I could see a PSVR 2 that is wireless to the unit, like Bluetooth.
They need to, because it's from what I've read, it's dated. Yeah.
It is a hassle to set up PS.
So I thought that was interesting just to do that quick research to see if Valve would be interested in going to that PlayStation market, and it looks like they are, because it's 5.9 versus 8.5, which is it's a lot, but it's like 6 million and growing, and they grow like. It went from 2 million to 2.2 million, so it's probably going to be like 2.5 million next year, maybe more. Which is it's a good trend, because they had the charts too on that article for the 5 minutes units sold, and they were projecting out to 6 million in mid. However, I don't think it's going to be 6 million in mid. It's probably going to be a little less with what's going on. Yeah. But they had like a trend chart. It is going up. It's not like evening out or going down.
It's just going up, which is good. I'm glad that VR is healthy.
And Alyx is that game to, I think, bring it in the forefront. That's what I'm curious to see.
I think a Half-Life game, and that's why Valve's doing it. They're pushing the tech to show we can do this, and we're going to use our biggest IP to show that we can do this. They know what they're doing.
Yeah. So
Portal
they
VR.
haven't branched out the consoles though in a long time. So I'm just curious if they do have stuff in the background going on for Xbox doing VR. I don't think.
No, Xbox said they're not going to.
Yeah. So They have to go PlayStation.
And Nintendo has the Labo, the cardboard that you can put on your face, and you hold the Switch into your face. That's a real thing.
I know, but yeah. I don't think they'll go Nintendo.
That's their VR substitute.
I don't think a single Valve game has been released on Nintendo.
I don't think so.
Nope. Yeah, just Xbox.
Yeah.
And PlayStation?
Yeah, Orange Box was on PS3.
Yeah, Orange Box on PlayStation. Yeah. Okay.
That's where I played it.
So that was just a quick
I liked it. That was good. Now, James, I think it's the time we've all been waiting for. You and I have really not talked about Ori and the Will of the Wisps.
No. So we don't know our
reactions.
Opinions.
So I want to start. Did you beat Ori?
I did not, but I'll talk about it. Why?
Right.
Okay. Right now.
Can I?
So
yeah, go for it. Why didn't you beat Ori?
So basically, we usually record on Thursday, and I told you, okay, can we postpone so I could beat Ori?
Yep.
And I played through it, but I told you I had this weird issue. Like I swear, like I said, the game was bugged, but in reality, it turns out it was soft locked for me because I got into a point in the game that I wasn't supposed to be at by cheesing, and I did some research because I couldn't find out what the hell, why couldn't I use this swim dash ability? It's it's not working. I'm hitting my RB, and I know my RB is working, and I found out by other people who were commenting on a walkthrough video that they're like, hey, it's not working for me either. And I found out one of them was like, oh, if you don't have dash, you can't use swim dash. So I never got dash in the beginning. I got bash, but I didn't get dash. So then I found out I had to go all the way back, go get dash, then go back and use swim dash. But I was soft locked, so I had to load up a save before I got to that point, and then go back and then go over it. So then, once I got some dash, I was like, is this worth it? Am I having fun with this game? I continued on a little bit, got to the Quillock fight, and I was like, I'm not having fun.
Wow, really?
And I just stopped right there. I might go back to it because I have nothing else to play.
Yeah.
If I beat Doom and do all stuff. It just beat that fight, but it was just it was the puzzles aren't fun. I know they're kind of unique, but let's just talk about it.
All right, okay. So I beat Ori. It took me, I had this written down, let me get it. I want to say it took me 7 something. No, it took me 9 hours and 43 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And I had 78% of the map completed when I beat the story. And when I beat the story, I was not compelled to go back and get any of the upgrades or any of that. Obviously, so for those people that don't know what Ori is a Metroidvania platformer about this cute little spirit lemur-ish thing.
Yeah.
And he's got some colorful friends, and it's like a Pixar movie, a dark Pixar movie in a video game. It's kind of what it is. Like a Pixar short, I guess it would be. But I think Ori is a very good game. Ori Will and the Wisps is not a great game by any means.
I agree with you there.
I think that the game mechanics overall... Oh, Skype's doing a weird thing. That's all right. You just got the camera went weird again. It's fine. Yeah, I don't know. I think Ori, the mechanics are very fun at first. The way that you dash and how you basically lock onto a projectile and use it to boost you up.
Yeah, that's 90% of the game.
And that, yes, and then that becomes all you do. And it even is to the final boss battle, which is this giant bird called Shriek, which is, I think, a really cool character I do want to talk about. But the final boss battle is just the ending of it. You're free falling, and all you do is launch projectiles back up at him, and you have to jump, and it becomes the most boring.
It's the same thing with the Quillock fight as well. You have to launch the projectiles back at him.
Yeah. And so,
or before, you just run away. For the first 2 boss battles, you'd run away.
And I actually think those segments, I really liked the chase segments. There's one really good one later on in the game, against this giant worm, and you're maneuvering around and trying to evade, and that's really fun. But it just is it slowly becomes meh. It becomes very repetitive, and I think that by the end of the game, I was very glad the game was ending. And not in a negative way, but it was I think I've done all I can do. I've gotten what I wanted. I enjoyed my time. This should wrap up now. And it did. It knew its timing. I don't think it went on too long. It was very much this is the point where people are kind of done. And they nailed it. That being said, I'm amazed at the technical problems of this.
Yeah, so many. Yeah. Weird problems though too. The sound bug is the worst issue that they still haven't resolved.
Yeah, so there's basically a bug that just randomly certain times, there's no reason why, it just goes brrr,
Yeah, and it's jarring, and it's
hurts.
like unimmersive, and as beautiful as Ori is, as polished as most of the mechanics are, that sound is like really off-putting.
Yeah, I had one hard crash.
I had a crash.
Yeah, so I had one hard crash, like my game froze and I just had to restart. And then I had one time where I was like popping up into the menu and it got like stuck, where the menu like wouldn't or the map wouldn't load.
How's your load time for when you start the game? Is it like 30 seconds to a minute, or?
Yeah, it wasn't noticeably long. I felt like it was like, it's the game. I mean, coming off of like Jedi Fallen Order, which took like 4 hours to load everything.
Yeah, I guess.
So like I didn't notice.
Oh, well, that was PlayStation. I was like, PC was actually kind of fast.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah, I guess the PC version of Fallen Order was really good.
Yeah, it was actually good. Yeah, it was funny because it didn't have as many bugs. You kept telling me all the bugs.
God, it's so many bugs in Fallen Order. What did you think of the graphics and kind of the characters?
Graphics are polished. Characters. I mean, I didn't get to the very ending, but that bird character, like, you know, the little bird that you're going after. The story, the way it progresses, like you finally find the bird and then it like basically almost dies.
Yeah.
Very interesting, like way they progress that story. And I was talking with you about it, and then you're saying like, oh, you're basically like close to the end. And I was like, really? Like it doesn't really feel like I did much, but
yeah. So I guess the way the game starts is very linear, of like jumping to here and here and here.
Yeah.
Like you're going to this part, then you got to go over here, then you got to go over here. Then finally you do this like kind of crescendo of like the first act of the story. Tragedy strikes, and then you're sent on like this quest, and it's very much like almost open world-ish, where it's like you can go here, here, or here to like get these.
But
like,
some stuff is blocked off ability-wise,
yes.
which I think is nice. And then you also can go back through, because you're basically just going back and forth.
Yeah.
And then you'll notice like there's little things you can do because now you have these new abilities, which I think is great. Like that's a sign of like reusing your own puzzle and then making it better.
Yeah.
Good level design. However, like if there's like you can cheese, which I did, like you could cheese out like certain things with double or triple jump. It's like, damn, you got to think about that. If you like at some point, like if you need this ability, use another ability, say something somewhere. So
the triple jump aspect, you can basically buy abilities from this guy who has like a shop, and you can buy an ability which is triple jump.
Twillin? I think it's Twillin.
Yeah.
Twillin?
I don't know. I have a complaint about the characters in a minute. But you buy like the triple jump, and triple jump basically breaks the game. Like, they kind of let you break the game. Obviously, I didn't know that they let you break it to the point where you can't play anymore. That sucks.
That's what happened, because I triple jumped all the way there, and I was like, oh, I'm not supposed to be.
Yeah, but there's like certain points like I needed to use an ability, and I was like, oh, I can just do my third jump and be fine. Like I don't have to do this annoying ability. But okay, so I want to talk about the characters because I have a big problem with this game. It has to do with the side quest. Okay, so there's a side quest where you are constantly like, it's very much like Zelda Link's Awakening, where you are given an item and it's like, I have this big hat, and you take the big hat, and then it's like, go find somebody that needs a big hat.
Yep.
And it's like, okay, and all of these things, I forget what they're called. They're like Molex or Moleeks or something. These little cat people.
Yeah, I know what you're talking. Yeah, what is it called?
I don't know. It's
Moki?
Mokies,
right?
Mokies.
Yeah.
A bunch of these Mokies. They're like cat monkey things, and they populate this forest that and that you are venturing through.
They sound like guinea pigs.
They do.
You're like,
very cute noises. I think the sound effects are great in this game. But all of these things look the same. They are all named Moki. And I never can find the Moki that needs the flower or the hat or the sponge.
Or I found the one that needed the backpack or something like that. Like,
and then he gives you something else. He's like, oh, take this fish. Find a guy who likes fish. And you're like, I'd probably talk to a guy that likes fish, but there's nothing on my map that marks this guy.
And there's nothing memorable at the characters because they say like one line. And it's like, okay,
they all look
cool.
the same. They're all these cat people.
Yeah.
There's 45 of them in the hub.
Yeah, it's like, hey, Moki, have you seen Moki? I'm like, what?
He's like,
I thought you were the same thing.
It really bugged me to the point where I was like, do I want to do this? This is stupid.
Yeah, I did like a couple, and then it was like, nope, no more.
Yeah, I don't get what the point. That really bugged me. Like, it's like it almost felt like really lazy. And they're just like, yeah, throw in a quest, throw in that side quest.
It felt like
hollow.
Afterthought too, kind of thing. Like it's just like, yeah, we'll just put these in here. Here's our bait.
Yeah. But that being said, the main characters of Ori I don't really remember the names of them except for Shriek, who's the big evil bird.
Mm-hmm.
All the characters I think have like a very good backstory. There's like the explorer monkey who teaches you moves.
Yeah, that guy's.
There's a like this like kind of troll looking dude that's like building things in your hub, and he has a very sad story where he's like the last of his people, and you actually like go to the people's like area and like see like his people all dead. But the bad guy, who is this big ass bird called Shriek, has a very sad story about like why it's evil.
Mm-hmm.
And the resolution is really sad as well. And I actually like felt kind of emotional with this like evil birds kind of arc. And how it's like basically it was like abandoned and its family died, and then like it tried to get accepted, but because it was different, it like got bullied and rejected, and it became like evil and like didn't like the forest anymore because like the forest didn't give a shit about him, and it's really sad. So I thought that was a cool way to incorporate that, and then the ending of the game I actually think is very good as well, like the end of the story. So, but it's a very good game.
Yeah. But it's not. You're right. It's not a great game.
Yeah. It's like, I mean, I hate doing numbers, but it's like an 8 out of 10.
Okay, yeah. I agree with you there.
I mean, it broke for you.
It's a solid game, but yeah, it definitely was fun at the beginning. At the beginning, it was like really addicting and fun to play, and then it just got annoying at some point.
Yeah, it just got really repetitive. Yeah, you should be.
Yeah.
But that being said, I totally get why you're playing Doom Eternal over Ori.
Well, that's what happened, because Doom Eternal came out on Friday, and it was like, wait a second, this is a polished game that has great mechanics and good story, and it's like,
yeah,
and good sound, and I don't have to hear the boing like every 5 seconds.
I cannot wait for next week to talk about Doom Eternal. I think we're both the exact same part, and
I've been playing a lot today.
Oh, have you? Okay,
I'll probably further. Yeah.
What a good game. I cannot wait to talk about it. It's very good.
Oh, can I tell you a little Easter egg on it?
Sure.
You can play Doom 2 in your hub.
Yeah, you can.
Do you remember that? Yeah. So yeah, someone like found out on the PC you could play Doom 2, which is, I think that's a cute little Bethesda thing.
Well, if you go down the computer, have you gone there yourself?
I haven't even looked at it. I just saw it on Reddit, and I was like, oh, I got to go do this when I'm back at the hub, but I'm out here killing.
Yeah, I'm out here fucking shit up. Like, yeah. If you go down to the computer and like, check into it, it basically pops up and it's like installing one of 46 floppy drives or whatever it says.
Oh yeah, because you could pick up floppy drives throughout the map, like little collectibles.
Yeah, and they're cheat codes too. Yeah.
Ooh,
it's really good. Can't wait to talk about it next week. I'm okay now.
All right, so you gave it 8 out of 10. I'm gonna give it a to be determined out of 10.
Yeah, it sucks that it broke for you. I mean, that really takes away from the experience altogether.
I wasted hours on hours like trying to figure out why it wasn't working. Then once I did the research, I was like, okay, I have to like get myself out of here, because once you go into that pit, you cannot get out. Yeah. Unless you have swim dash, which is really funny.
Which is crazy. Yeah. All right, and as we wrap out the show, we always add one game to our ever-growing list, the top 20 games for Side Escape. Our list starts as, hold on, my iPad went to sleep. So far, we have Super Mario World, Minecraft, The Last of Us, Doom 1993, The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, Halo, Halo 2, Call of Duty, Modern Warfare, or Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare, BioShock, Portal 2, and Half-Life 2. Now, James.
12 games.
12 games, okay? Now I'm going to talk to you about a game. A little RPG that I fell in love with, and it made me love RPG. Mass Effect 2.
I was waiting for the Mass Effect, because
Mass Effect 2 is my favorite RPG of all time. It is probably one of my favorite sci-fi games of all time. It is, I mean, have you played Mass Effect 2?
I have not played the Mass Effect series. One day,
are you fucking kidding me?
It totally was like not on my radar.
Oh my
when I was growing up.
So I was
a Call of Duty Halo guy. That's it. I barely played any other games besides those games.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so, I never really ventured out.
Mass Effect 2 is a sequel to Mass Effect, obviously, but Mass Effect, the first game for the series, it was an Xbox exclusive for a while, and it was a third-person action RPG that had a lot more like RPG elements to it, of like your way you would do your equipment and like how like everything builds on each other. It was much more like stat based, and a little less like focused on the kind of like shooting and ease of leveling up. It was more like complex, I would say. And it was very much known for its loading elevators in the Citadel. Which is a big joke to anybody that's played Mass Effect out there. But Mass Effect 2 is a sequel that was kind of like a soft reboot of what Mass Effect was. Even so much where the game starts off where your main character is killed and brought back to life.
Is the main character Commander Shepard?
Commander Shepard. And you build your Commander Shepard, and it was so much to the point where like you got to rebuild what your Commander Shepard looked like. So if you didn't like how you built him in the first game, you could rebuild him in the second game and be the same character. But Mass Effect is very much based on choice, and it's this RPG of you as this like lone soldier that is given a team through this like kind of shady organization, and they are asking you to go save the universe. And there's this thing called the Reapers that are coming, and the Reapers are going to basically obliterate the universe and like reset it back to ground zero and let life kind of take over again, almost like a very Judgment Day-esque kind of scenario. Where Mass Effect 2, you are Commander Shepard again after you've saved the galaxy once. And this organization basically tells like, hey, the government's not listening to us. We know that like the galaxy's gonna end. We need you to save it again. We need you to go get this team together and go on this suicide mission to save everyone. And so the first like 2/3 of the game, or like the first third of the game, I guess, would be you're going out and you're getting different squad members to, like going to different missions and like getting this guy to be on your team, getting a weapons specialist, getting this person to be on your team, and gathering up. And it's all about the characters of like, you're getting this guy named Garrus, who's like this old cop that's like now like your best friend. And you're getting a Krogan, who's like a big, like buff, mean alien, and like all these different aliens, an assassin. And then the second third of the game is all these companions then get like loyalty missions. And you are, in order to like bond with them more and get them on your side, you then are sent with them to like go do something for them, basically. So like one of the characters, nice. Jack is like this cybernetically enhanced like mean girl, right? And I've never really liked Jack, but like she was like basically kidnapped and tortured, and so like she like requests like you to like help her like get revenge on the people that did this to her, and then you can choose to like either get revenge or not, and like kind of how like, but your decisions that you make with Jack can affect the other party members.
Oh.
And someone can get like upset with you that like you're helping her. Another one, Jacob, like his loyalty mission is like he goes to like his home planet and finds out that his dad's alive. But then like his dad's actually the guy who's like fucking up his home planet. And it's like this whole like story about like how he deals with like ending up having to kill his father. And like because his dad's not the guy he thought he was. And it's like this bonding, and it's the characters are great. They're memorable as hell.
Sounds powerful.
The gameplay is really fun. It's a great third-person cover shooter. You basically, if you play as a soldier, you get an assault rifle kind of towards the end of the game. That is like the best gun in the game by far. And you just lay waste to people. And then the last third of the game, not even, is the suicide mission. And every one of your team members, you go on this mission to like fight the bad guys, basically the last bad guy. And you have to start selecting roles for each of your people to play in this like mission. Or like, you got to go infiltrate this area. You have to lead this team. And if you either don't have enough loyalty points or you select someone wrong, they could die in the mission.
Wow.
And so like,
that's incredible.
By the end, like you can lose members of your team. And then if every one of your team dies, you end up dying on the mission as well. It's really cool. And then of course, then it affects what happens in Mass Effect 3, kind of. But it's a great RPG that's all about choice, all about these characters and this like kind of fucking awesome like suicide mission that you're all on. And it's like, it's a great sci-fi game. I can't recommend Mass Effect 2 enough. And it really shaped how a lot of RPGs I think are made now, especially Western RPGs. And it's BioWare in their prime. It's BioWare, that didn't make Anthem. But it's a fantastic game that made me love RPGs a little bit and kind of got me onto the track of what would be Skyrim and everything like Western RPG. So Mass Effect 2, putting it on the list.
It's on.
Boom. It is decided. Well, James, that means we're at the end of our show. I hope quarantine treats you well. It's going to treat me well with a lot of Doom and Animal Crossing.
We'll see. I might be crazy next week.
Oh, jeez. If you come back and you have a full beard, it'd be amazing. You're just like, oh, hey, Jake, I've got to talk about...
Jake, I played it all.
You're like 95 years old.
Doom
we'll get to hear your first reactions to Half-Life Alyx.
Yeah, you're going to either hear me hate it because my VR headset sucks, or I vehemently said it's the worst VR headset I had, and my friend says no, our friend Gunnar. It's bad, but we'll play it and we'll see how good it is.
See how it goes. I'm excited.
They released a really good clip today or a GIF on Valve's Twitter, and it's a head crab, which they basically just go on your head. And then they had the guy, you're basically holding a chair, and the head crab was jumping to your head, and he took the chair, just launched it out of the window.
Oh, I love it.
It's just
That's
like
awesome.
It's just like, it's so random. It's like, hey, you can do that, and it's just like everyone's just like, why would they show this?
That's so great.
But it's like, it's kind of cool. You can use the environment around you. So
That's
I can't wait to dodge head crabs because they're scary.
Use chairs. It's gonna be exciting. Well, thank you
Use the environment
so much for watching the 16th episode of the Soundscape Gaming Podcast. I'm Jake Burke. That's James St. Charles. Good luck in the world that is crazy right now.
and keep gaming.
Ooh, I like that. Keep gaming.